Hello, good day, and welcome to another presentation from us at Budget Consultants Limited. Now, today I will be doing a video that I don't plan to be doing another time, and it is because I'm going to change the rules of engagements that I have as it relates to the type of work that I'll associate myself with and stuff like that. I'm basically trying to get a little bit stricter because it seems like persons who want to do construction really think that when it comes down to organizing and getting work done, it's just a matter of coincidence. I have said many times that you can't expect good outcomes when you do bad planning. So the topic of the day will be Pennywise and pound foolish again. Now, what you see on display is a drawing that was sent to me related to consultation and management. And upon looking at the drawing, I can see that it has a lot of flaws. Based on the amount of detail that the person puts into a file, it tells me a lot about the person who is doing the drawing, as well as it gives an indication of the type of customer. Many times, the customers who will go for these persons are people who assume that spending a certain amount of money on a drawing file is too much. So they will take almost anybody who is willing to do a drawing, as long as they hear that they have connections to the parish council to get things approved. So this person that did this drawing, I am told that he did similar drawings in the same community and got them approved. I don't know how, but based on the work ethic that I am seeing here, it is not in any kind of order for anybody to go to any parish council and even to be considered as serious. Now, one of the additional things that happened in that whole consultation setup is that I usually ask some questions, and I usually do my preparation that way because I like to see if the customer is cooperative or they are not. Because if the customer is not cooperative and they just want to dictate that I should just put some numbers together, then it's telling me that they are setting up themselves to failure. And I do not want to be associated with a certain kind of failure. So having the discussion, I found that there was originally the expectation of another bedroom that could be used as a helper's quarters that was supposed to be a part of the drawing, which is absent. And likewise, for the first floor, there was supposed to be a third bedroom. So there are two bedrooms on the first floor now, and there was supposed to be a third bedroom. So basically the drawing is pointing in one direction and the owner is headed in a completely different direction. And this is an issue that I keep bringing up because I see so much of these drawings coming to me. And whenever I make mention of the fact that the coordination of the file is not done properly, people often try to give me a justification to say something like the parish council has approved it, or the person that has done the drawing has done many drawings before, some kind of bullcrap like that. But with my experience, I know that whenever things are out of line, it becomes problematic on the ground. You don't want a scenario where the person that's going to be executing the construction is the only person that will know how to add additional elements towards the construction, because that's a big gamble. The person in that situation can turn around, spoiling your building, and you would not be able to know it until it's too far. So the proper method is always to get the proper files done, and then you move up the ladder to additional professionals. Now, this drawing has a lot of errors, one of them being this staircase, and I'm going to mark it up for that reason. One of the things that I've done is that I've not put the customer's name on this video, as well as the person that did the drawing, because I'm not trying to go down that line. But this step really makes no sense. 2 feet 6 when you're exiting a staircase on a landing makes no sense. This is a no-no. This bathroom, you can see the lower level of attention that the person is giving. Is either the person is not properly experienced or the person just does not care. So like this is a bathtub, this is said to be a shower, very regular shaped shower. And then this is, I think, trying to say that there's going to be a double face basin. But the fact that the door is swinging on the basin, again, shows that the person is not paying attention to detail. Now, other flaws that I can see here, one bedroom is swinging inwards, this bedroom is swinging outwards. And I'm assuming that this is the master because you have the bigger bathroom. So this is another pointer error, again, that is on display. Now, on the ground floor, there's also a few things out of line. Between the stairs and this outer wall, it shows that there's a difference. So more than likely, there's going to be a cantilever space that's made on the side, and therefore all of this area is going to be wasted space that has little to no usage. I am also skeptical of these thread and risers, but I'm not going to go there twice. So in this setup, you have a no level of hardware. Everybody knows that a laundry has a wash tub and usually has a bare minimum of a washing machine. Not even that is considered. Other things to include how the kitchen is lined out. There's an island within the kitchen, but this island obviously does not have any consideration for things like a person that is going to sit on chairs or etc. Regardless of it being a big kitchen, the space is poorly designed. Now, the additional things that are required for this area is that the customer requires a storage area. There needs to be a helper's room or another bedroom that can be used by a helper or can be used as a guest room. That's missing. So the drawing is basically wrong. And because it's that wrong, no matter how you're going to hear a workman say, hey, I can fix it on the ground, you are really setting up yourself for a major issue when the work starts. So you have that's wrong, and on the first floor, it's pretty much wrong because it's a similar scenario. The other bedroom is exempt, as well as the customer wanted to go on top of the building. There's no setup for that in this particular situation. Now, Pennywise, when I mention it, I always mention it mostly around drawings. In other cases, you'd have situations where customers will get quotation from construction workers and they do not want to pay anybody to do assessments. But I'm not really dwelling on that as yet. Because I'm closing off this kind of file, I'm just going to use the drawing again in this scenario. So this is one of these situations again. The customer has an area that they are willing to work with. In this case, it's 2,800. Person A is saying at least 150. Person B is saying $90. Person B seems cheaper. But the problem with it is this. Person B is not paying attention to the details. So even when the customer thinks they have saved money, they're still in a situation that they're heading along a path that's going to lead to a major accident. The drawing is wrong. The person is not competent enough, and that's why they're giving a lower cost. It's not really the case that they can do a similar or better work. It's just the case that many times they are more desperate. So they will drop their costs cheaper. I am very weary when people present desperate costs because there's usually a catch down the line. Now, where the catch will come will be along somewhere in the construction. For me, if the file comes to me, I'm going to do my consistency and quality check. And if it doesn't look right, I'm going to point it out. The Pennywise idea, the customer think they must save $168,000 with a drawing that's not properly done. So because it's a customer that is reasonable and I can have a discussion with, what I was asked to do in this situation was to map up what works were done before, and I actually pulled in my technical people to get it done. So one of the first things that we did was that we wanted to establish what the exact square footage of the space was. So if you're not in construction, it might be hard for you, but because of the experience that we have, we know how to retrace and check it back. Now, if you want to just make a rough check, I can show it here. This is saying that the building is supposed to be a particular length, and I'm not going to check every last corner. They are saying that should be 38. If you follow the marker at the top of the screen, you are seeing 38 on display. And it is saying that you're 20, it is 26 feet this way. You follow the measurement in the middle again, you'll see 26. So basically, I know that scaling this, I'm getting a similar thing as near as accurate to the program that the person used. So in this case, I'm going to use the 1075, which is seen right here. this is saying 1,290 at this particular location. So this is not even me saying it. The computer is retracing it and confirming that that's the two areas that I need to consider. So adding both of these together, I'm getting a total square footage of 2,365 square feet, which is projecting the construction related cost to be about $33.1 million if I'm going to use a unit rate of $14,000. So what I have down here is the amended area, because as I said, this file was passed over to me to map up. So the amended area that I'm getting is 2,798, which is basically saying that there's a difference in value of over $6 million that is at play. Now, many of the times when you do these things, people will often ask, how did you get yours? So I'm not going to hide it. So this is the area calculator that comes with the program. This is the adjusted model that I did for the person. And this is for the ground floor. And then it is retraced to show what the first floor is. And the program also combines the area together. That is saying 2,798 square feet, which is the same that you have right here. This is the difference. But one would say the file that we adjusted is larger than the original file. So it would look like we are pushing up the construction value. The problem here, there is supposed to be another bedroom that is supposed to be considered on the first floor. And likewise, on the ground floor, there should be a bedroom and a bathroom that is also considered on a storage area because the person is planning to go solar. So that kind of provision, that type of storage setup has to be made for the person to store batteries and stuff like that. Because of that, yes, this square footage looks smaller, but it does not match the customer's scope. So this is one of them tricks in trade kind of scenario. It looks like somebody has drawn something for you that's going to be cheaper, but because it's missing the scope, eventually you might go $6 million upwards. Now, what I can do quick and fast is that I can actually do rough checks. So what I'm going to say is this. This is the amended file that we did. This is the file that they did. So there's a difference of 433 square feet. Now, because I don't want to waste the time putting it on the drawing, I'm going to just use the area calculator on Excel. So I'm just going to create a new sheet and I'm going to say bedroom, and that is on the ground floor. And I'm going to say that's 12 by 12. And then I'm going to put the area here to see what the additional scope would come to. Bedroom on the ground floor, that's 12 by 12. I am going to say bathroom. That is something from the scope that's missing. And I'm going to say that's 5 by 9 or 5 by 8.5. The next thing that I'm going to add is a storage. And that is because the customer said they need that storage space to put things like solar batteries and etc. So I'm going to be generous with that. I'm going to say that is 5 feet by say 6 feet. And that storage should say GF. Now for the first floor, we are going to need another bedroom. So I'm going to put that in as a 12 by 14. Additionally, I am going to add closet spaces. And that's what I didn't put on the ground floor. So I'm just going to be generous with that, 2 feet by say 6 feet. And I'm going to add one up here as well, 2 feet by 6 feet. And then make that calculate. So that's pushing it to 411. Notice before, the difference was 433 square feet. And with all of these square footage that I'm putting on, currently, I have not considered the inclusion of walls. Walls usually push up the figure a minimum of an additional 15%. So if I was to say I'm going to multiply that by 1.15, which is equivalent to 15%, that's going to say the final is 472 or 473 final area. So these are common problems that we run into. Sometimes we kind of get tired of it, and I'm kind of getting tired of it now, because people keep finding these people who drag up the files and they send them out and say, all right, parish council approve it, so it's all good. And I say, no, I cannot put cost to a file that is going to continuously be changing on site, because when the bill is overrun, then you're going to say, I did a calculation wrong. When the fact is that the person that you have hired and think that is helping you to save money is not following the scope, is missing out information and misrepresenting information. Before I go, I'm just going to show you what we reproduce. Customer wanted a bedroom to use as a helper's quarters. There's a bedroom that was considered. There's a bathroom that the helper's room or the guest room has. There's the laundry. There's a little storage area. Didn't use a big one, but a little storage area is here. This is a kitchen space, still has an island, but has consideration for seating. There's a pantry, which was not originally in the other drawing. And then you have a staircase that's scaled much better. On the first floor, 1 bedroom, 2 bedroom, a 3rd bedroom. This is a master setup, master bathroom that has a tub and a shower, toilet, a double face basin. A bathroom that's shared between these 2 bedrooms, that's accessed from inside the bedrooms, that is added, and there's a little seating area. So this is our adjustment. It might not be excessive, it might not be over the top, but all of the things that were related to the scope of works is now represented, and the customer can have a better appreciation. Because what we have done is that we have even put in the locations of some of the furniture so the customer understand how the space would be used, where TVs would be, where beds would be, stuff like that. Now, based on the advice of my team, I can't really present the people in 3D and exterior presentations, but that's what we did. We adjusted it. It's the same yard. It can be done just the same. The scope can be matched, but the choices that you make will determine whether or not you get something that seems like it's going to be okay or it's going to be over your budget. So let me do a final thing here, that I'm going to add the area total, which was considered here, to add to the scope. And if I put it there, it's larger than what we even have, because that would be pushing the square footage to 2,837, and ours were 2,798. So that's where I'm going to close off for today. And this is my final warning. Most of these files, when they come now, I'm just going to say either get somebody else to do the file, and I'm just going to point you to these videos as to why it makes no sense for us to do calculations related to construction costs when the files do not match the scope of works.